Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a discussion video. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I release Crash Bandicoot content every weekend. We discuss lore, plot holes, news, pretty much anything Crash related. Occasionally I'll release some Spyro or Mario content, but for the most part it's Crash. So if that's something that you might be interested, maybe consider subscribing. With that all said, we're going to jump to the topic at hand, which is Crunch really a hero? He is on the good side, yes, but he does not have many heroic feats. So we're going to cover all of Crunch's appearances, and we'll figure out if he actually is a hero or not. So Crash has 13 appearances, as you can see. Wrath of Cortex, Entranced, Nitro Kart, Ripto's Rampage, Twinsanity, Tag Team Racing, Boom Bang, Crash of the Titans, Mind Over Mutant, Bandicoot Nitro Kart 2, Nitro Fueled, Crash 4, and Crash on the Run. So we're going to go over all of his appearances and what he did in said games. So Crunch's first appearance was in Wrath of Cortex, and he was a villain. It wasn't until the end of the game where Cortex no longer had control over Crunch's mind, but throughout the entire game, up until the very ending and the ending cutscene, Crunch was a villain. His next appearance, Entrance. He was mind-controlled once again. Wasn't doing anything heroic this time. He was attacking Crash. He was a villain again. Then his next appearance was Crash Nitro Kart. Yes, he attempted to help save the world, but the canonical ending of that game was Team Cortex. Why, you ask? Because at the ending of Team Cortex's adventure, they get transported back in time to a primitive Terra, where the Terra species, the ones that look like Crunk, worship Tiny. And in doing so, they create Tiny Temple, which is a racetrack that Crash races on in Team Bandicoot. Meaning, if Crash's team won, Cortex would not go back in time, and Tiny Temple would never be created. So, this is one of the very few instances, maybe the only instance in the Bandicoot franchise, where Cortex's side actually wins. So yes, Crunch attempted to help save the world, but they did not succeed. So that's another loss for Crunch. And then in Crash Purple, Crunch literally just stands in the minigames. He does nothing. He stands right there as Crash lifts weights. So he might as well not even be in the game. He doesn't help Crash. He doesn't fight bosses. He literally just stands there in select minigames. Moving on to Twinsanity. His only appearance in Twinsanity is where he shows up for the birthday party that he thinks is an actual birthday party, along with all the other villains. So while he's not a villain in this game, he does nothing. This is the first time since Crunch appeared that he actually did something. So in Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash, Coco, and Crunch save the day. They don't save the world, but they save Motor World. Then in Crash Boom Bang, he's not an enemy per se, but the entire game it's a free-for-all. Everyone against everyone else. So Crunch isn't like I said, he's not a villain but he is a rival in this game. So he's not helping Crash, he's attempting to beat Crash. And the canonical ending of the game, Crash runs up, touches the big super power crystal, and gets his wish of tons and tons of Wumpa fruit. So Crunch does not win. The canonical ending is Crash, so that's another loss for Crunch. Then in Crash of the Titans, Crunch gets frozen in ice, and he does nothing the entire game. Then we move on to Mind Over Mutant, and Crunch is evil again. Mind controlled by the Envy, and now he is a boss. Then we move on to Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart 2. This appearance of Crunch is non-canon because you don't get to race as him in any of the main missions, which is the story mode of that game, and you unlock him and you could race as him in arcade mode. So you unlock him, yes, but similar to how you unlock Fake Crash in the original Crash Team Racing, he's not in any cutscenes. He is just there as a playable character, non-adventure mode. And then the ending of Nitro Fueled, the canonical ending, is Crash wins. So Crunch doesn't win there. And if you are to go by continuity, the adventure mode in Nitro Fueled is the original adventure mode from the original Crash Team Racing. So all the added extra stuff from Nitro Fueled is not canon to the actual adventure. However, after the adventure is over and the Grand Prix start, yes, Crunch is in those. Which leads us to his cameo appearances. This is a flashback tape. It's the same image from the start of this video, so I'm going to show you a more cleaned up version. So in the flashback tapes, you literally just see Crunch on a monitor. He does nothing in the game, he's just on a monitor. Which brings us to our last appearance of Crunch. It is a skin for Crash on the Run. So Crash takes on the appearance of Crunch, and he looks very goofy. But again, that is just a skin, so it is non-canon. So, now that we've explained all the appearances, we will go over them real quick. So, Wrath of Cortex, he was evil. To Entranced, he was evil again. Crash Nitro Kart, he helped, but ultimately they did not win. Ripto's Rampage, he literally did nothing. Crash Twinsanity, he literally did nothing. Crash Tag Team Racing, they won. Crunch actually won. Boom Bang, like I said when we were discussing it, he's not evil per se, but he is going against Crash. So it fit better in that category as evil. So, evil. Crash of the Titans, frozen in ice, did nothing. Crash Mind Over Mutant, evil again because of the Envy. And then Nitro Kart 2, Bandicoot Nitro Kart 2, was a non-canon appearance, only playable in arcade mode. Nitro Fueled, he helped, but ultimately was not in the adventure mode, only helped out in the Grand Prix. It's About Time, did nothing, and On the Run, non-canon skin. So 36% of the time he was evil, 36% of the time he did nothing, 18% of the time he attempted to help, and only 9% was he heroic. So that's what we have. We have a 36% evil character that is actually on the hero side. Canonically, he has only helped the heroes win one time. Every other appearance, he's either done nothing or he was evil. So everyone, do you really think this is a hero? Crunch Bandicoot, hero, yes. Yeah, right. If you made it this far into the video, I guess the phrase can be mind control. Anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good night.